Hi, I'm Matt. Welcome to Disney Planning Insights. Through creative content and live shows, we explain the hidden details of the Disney experience so that our clients can execute memorable adventures. Together with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel, we have helped hundreds of clients plan, book, and prepare for magical Disney vacations. Let our experience help you avoid common planning mistakes and maximize the enjoyment on your next Disney trip. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Matt with the DPI podcast, and it is Tuesday, September the 27th. It might be the last day that Orlando is actually a city. It might be an island once we get done with this hurricane, but we're here because we're not in Orlando. But we're going to have some fun with this, and we're going to talk some news. We've got Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel coming on, and we've got a ton of stuff because we had a little bit of a family get-together last week that kept me from the show. So without further ado, let me bring on Peter with Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel. Peter, how we doing? That is not what I wanted. This is what I wanted.
It's a hurricane, Matt. Matt. There's a hurricane happening. Oh, Jesus.
That really kills your lights.
Yeah, it does.
There you go. Product placement. Product placement.
Let me get rid of my assistant here. Oh, my gosh. We got very wet. We got very wet over here very quickly. Okay.
How you doing?
Let me get rid of this hurricane here real quick.
All right. Okay.
Oh, that's so much better. Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
I am doing well. I am doing well. Since I hit the wrong button, let's go ahead and let's get into the news.
All right.
We've got 15 minutes or something like that, so
I like it.
Let's go. So the big news down in Disney World at Land is they've got a hurricane coming, and they are actually shutting down the parks for the next couple of days.
Yeah, tomorrow and Thursday, a whole bunch of people near the coast did mandatory evacuations. When that happens, Disney kind of opens up its campus because it is one of the disaster relief areas in Florida. So what that means is a whole bunch of people from the coast that need shelter are basically moving into some Disney resorts right now for the next couple of days because all of Disney's buildings are rated for Category 5 hurricanes because it's just built right.
Yeah, when you got that mouse money, they can do things the right way sometimes. With that being said, on the travel agent side, what do guests have to look at when it comes to getting refunds and extensions of tickets and that kind of stuff? What's the best advice you can give to guests on that?
Well, kind of what happened to you with the cruise is the best advice I can give to guests is if your trip is impacted, first of all, if you're already there or, supposed to be there in the next couple of days, you just contact guest services and talk to them about what you've lost. And if you're able to, a lot of times they'll just work on either extending or partially refunding. If you're yet to go and maybe you were supposed to get there tomorrow, then it would be, a call. Are you willing to just shorten your vacation? Or if you want to do a complete reschedule, Disney would likely handle that without any type of a booking fee on you or a cancellation penalty or anything like that. And in fact, if you do cancel, you'd likely get a full refund. If you do rebook, they would likely cover a little bit of any price differences or whatever else like that.
Yeah.
But with it being such a small shutdown, I would hope that if we have viewers who are like, oh my gosh, I'm going down there tomorrow. First of all, thanks for watching our show the night you're supposed to leave. But, chances are if you're going down there tomorrow, you're kind of locked in So just kind of getting down there, and sure, you might have a little bit of delay getting started or whatever else like that. But go talk to guest services; they'll make it right for you for sure.
Yeah,
All guest services before you head down.
Yeah, so this is impacting not only the parks, but the Galactic Star Cruiser. So journeys that are going out the next couple times, it's impacting. It's also going to impact people that are on the Wish, probably. They're saying it may extend their cruise.
Makes sense.
So yeah, just a lot of things going on with that.
Can't bring it into port when it's being slammed by a hurricane.
Yeah, exactly. Why can I not find what I want to find? Oh, I know why. There it is. Okay. Moving on. So we got a lot of park news as far as it came to Epcot Festival of the Holidays. So the Candlelight Processional list was released. Some of the highlights on that: Neil Patrick Harris, Whoopi Goldberg, Gloria Estefan, Cal Ripken Jr., Josh Gad, if you are a Josh Gad fan, Marie Osmond, Angela Bassett. Good list. If you want to see the whole list, it is over on the Disney website if you go over to Festival of the Holidays. Disney also released the cookie stroll locations and what cookies will be associated with those. And a couple of nights of Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party have now sold out, including opening night, which isn't a big surprise. Opening night's usually one of the first to go, and then usually the one that's the closest to Christmas goes shortly after that. The 22nd this year, yeah. So, yeah. Lots of stuff. Merriest Nights is not going to return to Disneyland this year. They're going to rename it, and they're going to do something a little bit different with it, but it's not going to be the Merriest Nights that we've known for a while. Epcot's 40th anniversary starts this weekend, and they are in almost all of their merchandise showcasing Figment. So if you are a Figment fan, you definitely want to go down there to get some of that merchandise because it will be special for this 40th anniversary. Walt Disney World confirms Ducktales World Showcase Adventure is coming to Epcot later this year. It's going to replace the Phineas and Ferb, Perry the Platypus, spy scavenger hunt that you did before. It will be completely virtual. Japan is opening up to tourism starting October 11th. So, here in a couple of weeks. Festival Fantasy Parade moving to just one performance per day. But they're giving you another 50th Cavalcade. That's a good trade-off. Tree of Life Awakenings and Beacon of Magic return to Animal Kingdom on October 1st. Yeah, a lot of news. Oh, more big news. Disneyland will... you'll be able to use your Magic Band Plus at Disneyland later this year, is what they're saying. And the thing about this is, it sounds like it's going to be transferable guest to guest as well. So it's kind of weird compared to how it works at Disney World to Disneyland. Now, Disneyland has not ever had the ability to use Magic Bands. That has been a world exclusive for a long time. Crystal Palace Breakfast is coming back with characters on October 25th. It has been back with lunch and dinner for characters, breakfast, and that's a big breakfast to get back, because I felt like that of the three breakfasts that are available, that was the best of the three there.
Yeah, Crystal Palace is really good. On top of that, we've mentioned it in previous shows, these dates, but this is the week that a whole bunch of other character dining is coming back, like Ohana. I'm thinking most notably kind of in that same area over at Polynesian is getting its characters back. It's actually like 2 days ago it got its characters back.
Lots of stuff with the... Oh, Kona Cafe is reopening at the Polynesian on November 1st. No reservations, but you can continue to order a mobile order, select breakfast, lunch, and dinner offerings from Kona Cafe to go. Lots of cruise stuff. Santa Claus is moving at Epcot. He's not going to be inside the American Pavilion. He's going to be at the Odyssey Pavilion this year. And that there must have been a lot of damage done to the American Pavilion with that firework. Because they've shut down the Great American Adventure. They're moving Santa Claus. Mm-hmm. So I just feel like there's a lot going on moving things away from that pavilion. Disney After Hours events will return to Walt Disney World starting in January of 2023. These are the paid After Hours events, and they're going to start at Magic Kingdom and Hollywood Studios. Early to mid-January. Early January for Magic Kingdom, mid-January for Hollywood Studios, and they are going to go through the end of March for Magic Kingdom, the middle of April for Hollywood Studios, and they're going to be about the price of a standard day ticket, if not a little bit more. I saw prices in the 140s for some of the days, so that's pretty salty for an extra 3 hours, but you can get into the park 2 hours early, or you can get into the park 3 hours early, something like that. So
yeah, I mean, I was kind of expecting on that front for the tickets to be a little bit closer in price to the party tickets, and like you said, they're a little bit elevated on that, which seems strange, because if we talk about the parties, there's definitely more advantage at a party, but it also seems like these tickets will be far more limited than what you would get at a party, because I mean basically in those like 3 or before or after hours, so Magic Kingdom, I expect them to do what they used to, where like half the park is open or the other half of the park is open. And then, but obviously not nearly as many people as they roll through the gate in the parties. So maybe that's the reason for the elevated price comparing those two experiences. But it's really just a way to charge for exclusive after-hour events year-round versus just having it around the holiday time. So.
What else are you seeing on your side?
I have been so incredibly busy this week that I was going to let you tell me about the news. Girls golf is wrapping up. We won regionals on Saturday, and between going to Disney last week and then getting back into the swing of things and getting a team ready for regionals and then competing at regionals, today is the first day where I got done with school and I didn't have like a pile of to-do list. So I was just excited to know that 7:15 was not going to be a scheduling issue.
It was almost a scheduling issue for me tonight. We had Grandparents' Day at the kids' school, and I was following somebody home that was going 28 in a 45.
Oh, I hate.
And I could not get around them. I was beating my head against my steering wheel. Let's see. It's a Small World at Disneyland will close for refurbishment. So the big refurbishment for the Christmas season, it is going to be closed from October 24th through November 10th, and will reopen on November 11th. That's going to be for them to put up the huge light display on the front of it, as well as some minor changes on the inside.
More characters. That's what I'm looking for.
Let's see, Splash into Fall at Disney's Typhoon Lagoon Water Park on Thursdays and select Sundays in October for pass holders. So another add-on event for pass holders. We hit 50,000 views as a channel last week. We hit 60,000 views as a channel this week. So
we didn't even do a show.
We did 10,000 views in a week. Yeah.
We didn't even do a show. Ha!
Play Pavilion is back in the works because people are actually working on this, which is pretty awesome.
That is really awesome. When we were there last week, that was the topic of conversation in my family was, what is that building gonna? And then me explaining, oh yeah, it's gonna be this kind of, interactive area similar to, what's kind of at the backside of Figment and on the outside, the exit of Spaceship Earth, but like way cooler and way more immersive. And, so we were really, and then my kids were like, well, can we go in? I'm like, ha, you wish.
By the time it's done, they'll have kids of their own.
That's
so
right.
They can deal with that.
By the time we get done, Bryce is going to be drinking around the world with us.
Speaking of that, we have something special coming for our loyal fans here. I don't know how fast I'm going to get it done, but we had a top secret project at Epcot on Peter's last trip that is going to turn into something fantastic.
Yeah, I don't even know what you want with them. I just you just said do this, and I was like, okay. I'm sure it's going to be completely deprecating on me, but I suppose.
No, I am going to do 90% of the video.
Yeah,
so
I mean, I did just put on a raincoat and get sprayed by water with a fan going on.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't
welcome
really
to our show.
To disagree with shtick.
All right. Well, that timer, and you can't hear it, but I'm getting it in my ear, says that our time is up on the news segment. So that was the news. I don't know that we missed a lot, but it is what it is. So, all right. So, real quick before we move on to the top 3 segment, let's talk a little bit about your trip. So you got back from Disney last Tuesday, and what were some of the highlights on your trip?
Finally got September on Guardians of the Galaxy. That was pretty exciting. We speculated, because we left on the 20th, we speculated that perhaps on September 21st, they would just play September. Which,
they did not.
I know, I found out about that, but that would have been a nice touch, Disney. Just side note for next 21st night of September. Excuse me. We ate at Morimoto, brand new restaurant. It was fantastic. Oh my gosh, was it really, really great food. And then let's see, what else were the highlights? Oh, it was wonderful. We went to Animal Kingdom in the morning, and all we did was ride Everest and watch Lion King and Finding Nemo. Lion King is basically the same show that it used to be pre-pandemic, which is it was just glorious and nostalgic, and it was just such a happy experience to see it all in its fullness. Finding Nemo, they took what was, I don't know, about a 45-minute show and condensed it down to 30 minutes. And what I can tell you about it is it was basically the same show. They just really expedited from song to song to song. And some of the songs kind of came in midway and other stuff like that. So all in all, though, really, really impressive. And they did trim the show down to 30 minutes, which was, I think, a necessary change. So I think they did a really good job on the reimagining of that. And then outside of that, the not so scary Halloween party was just fantastic. To have the full thing back, Space Mountain is pitch dark. I mean, we got there and we had a reservation at Tony's at 4:30. We ate dinner, and then we came out of there, went up front, got our wristbands, went through the secret welcome party hallway. Yeah. And then basically until about 8:30, we trick-or-treated and rode a bunch of rides. We probably rode 10 rides and trick-or-treated and stopped by a couple of characters just to see them from a distance. We didn't want to wait in the lines for them. And then right around 8:30, we headed for the castle, right around 9:30, we headed for the castle. We scoped out a spot, and we just finished the night with watching the fireworks and then grabbing a great spot for the second parade, and then ending the night watching the Sanderson sisters on the main stage. So really, really great whirlwind of a trip, but really, really, really fun.
Awesome. So, are you ready to do some top 3?
Got my piece of paper. I'm ready.
All right, sounds good. It is time for the top 3. Business trip.
Did the people move around?
It does tingle a little bit.
He doesn't have his pretty picture. I love how he just left the podcast for me. So you know how he just I mean, he wasn't wrong, but I like how he wants to see that. I mean, should we turn back on the voice? Turn back on the voice.
Okay. I'm back.
I know, we were talking about it.
What was that? I can't hear anything you're saying. It is loud. Here. Can you hear me at all?
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Okay. Awesome. So I have this paper with the top 3 stuff on it. Chips. We got chips. That's the one.
You did all of this just to turn the camera on.
21. 21 is our number today. And let's see what number 21 is going to be. It is going to be the top 3 slowest moving lines at Disney.
Got it.
And you have 20 seconds.
Thinking about taking a trip to Disneyland, Disney World, maybe a Disney cruise, or one of the other amazing Disney destinations? Contact me at Princess of the Mouse, and I'd love to work with you on your itinerary to the most magical places in the world.
You can contact Princesses and the Mouse Disney Travel on Facebook at PATM Disney Travel. And we're back.
All right.
God, that was a lot.
I don't know what you're talking about. This is no, I didn't even really think about the top 3. All right. So all right, I got one.
You got one. Okay. So, do you want to start or do you want me to start tonight?
Well, I have one. So, do you have your 3?
I've got 2 of the 3.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Okay, so then why don't you start then?
Okay, I'm going to start. And my number 3 line is the line for Merida at Magic Kingdom.
Characters. I didn't even think about character lines.
Yeah, so Merida meets people kind of across from Cosmic Rays next to the castle. And what they do with that line is they wrap it up in that side chute of the castle. And if you go there in the afternoon, you get baked against this plastic fence the whole time you're standing in that line. And of course, Merida takes her sweet time with people, which is awesome. But for the people that are baking in that line, not the most awesome feeling in the world. That might also be the hottest line at any Disney park. But that is my number 3.
All right, so for my number 3, I am going to go with Dinosaur over at Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
Dinosaur is a ridiculously slow-moving line. When it is out, so the line inside the building is really not all that long. And you're inside of this little pavilion and it's talking about like the dinosaurs and the extinction event and whatever else. And all you do is like go up a couple of like wood queues. It takes forever. And when the line is really long, it goes outside of the building. And as Matt was just talking about, just kind of standing out there, just sort of like baking for minutes at a time is a very, very just unenjoyable line experience. Dinosaur is my number 3 over at Animal Kingdom for that reason.
All right.
So, what is your number 2?
Number 2, I'm going to go with Rock and Roller Coaster at Hollywood Studios.
That's a slow moving line.
It is another one, and it just feels like the lightning lane affects that ride so much. If you hit it first thing in the morning before the lightning lane really picks up, that line moves really, really fast. But if you get there anytime after lunch and the lightning lane's kicking, you will just stay in that little area right outside the building forever, it seems like. And it's another one of those, you're outside, they've got fans, and it's kind of covered, but you don't get a lot of airflow through there, and it's just a miserable line. And it feels like it takes hours if you aren't inside the show building. And then once you get inside the show building, there's only like 2 rooms once you get in there. But outside, it feels like it takes forever.
It does. That's a good one. My number 2, I'm actually going to stay in Animal Kingdom.
Okay.
And I am going to go with Kilimanjaro Safari.
Okay.
Same reason, same kind of rationale. If you can get to Kilimanjaro Safari very early in the morning before the line builds up, you get through really, really quick. But if you kind of hit that thing and try to hit it midday, you stand there, like you'll move, and then you'll just stand there for like 10 minutes, going absolutely nowhere. And then you'll move, and then you'll stand there for like 10 minutes. And it's kind of the same thing that you just said. It's all about that lightning lane, because there's 0 wait on the lightning lane. And then if there's any type of a wait on the lightning lane, they will drain that thing and leave the standby just standing there the entire time. So, yeah, there are a couple of not very enjoyable ride lines, in my opinion, over at Animal Kingdom.
All right, let's get to number 1. Number 1, I'm going back to Magic Kingdom, and it is my nemesis ride. It's the Jungle Cruise.
That's a long line.
And not only is it long, when you get back into those little outhouses, it is narrow. You can't really rest anywhere. It's another just miserable line to get stuck in. And if you're there with a large lightning lane run in, you just sit, because they do the same thing. They just kind of keep clearing out that lightning lane. And it's usually about a 10-to-1 ratio of lightning lane to regular standby line guests. And it is just terrible. We got there on our last trip in March. We got there, and it said a 40-minute wait, and we were in that line almost 2 hours. Yeah. It was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I'm a really big fan of Jungle Cruise. I'm not a fan of Jungle Cruise at a 2-hour wait.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not a fan of Jungle Cruise at a 60-minute wait. Let's just be clear.
And I want to go back to your Kilimanjaro Safaris, because I just want to hit a pro tip really quick.
Yeah.
If you're going to Kilimanjaro Safaris after 11 o'clock, you're not seeing the ride. None of the animals are doing anything.
That's true. They're just laying around by that point.
Yeah.
Which is why I said if you don't go early in the morning.
Yeah, you've got to go. You've got to go early in the morning to that.
That should be your rope drop. Like
it should be.
It really should. Like, forget the whole like, oh, I got to run to Pandora. You don't really have to.
No.
And like that's another line that kind of drags a little bit, is the River Journey line. But actually, you're always just kind of slowly moving. It's just only a few people at a time.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
No.
And nobody lightning lanes Navi River.
Yeah. Right.
All right. So what's your number 1?
My number 1, just to spread the love and show that every park has a bad one, I am going over to my favorite park and bringing up Soarin'.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, so Soarin' has 3 bays, ABC. It has 3 terminals. And the line itself up to the break isn't even really the bad part, because they've got this like trivia game going on, and you sort of like get randomly put into a team. So you have like teams in the line competing with each other. So it's kind of fun. It's once I get through the split. Once I get through the split and I get put into a terminal, that becomes the most painstakingly boring wait, because in that terminal line, there's approximately 2 to 2.5 rides worth of people. So you get put at the back of that. And then the ride is a 5-minute ride. So between loading and the ride itself, it's like a 5 to 7 minute experience. And so you stand there for 5 to 7 minutes. You move halfway up for 5 to 7 minutes. You move almost to the end and stand 5 to 7 minutes, and then you, oh my good God.
And then once you get through that line, then you get into the actual like loading bay line.
You can stand there for 5 to 7 minutes.
Yeah, and you get at least one stand for there as well. It's crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, that. Thank you, Patrick Warburton.
It's funny because I resemble the guy that took off the ears.
All right, everybody. If you have a top 3 for us and you want to hear us debate our favorites or least favorites, as it was in tonight's show, definitely go on the website. It's right down there right now. patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning. Right there on the home page is a form you can fill out that will give you the opportunity to ask us a top 3 or ask a viewer question for our next segment. So, Peter,
We got 7 minutes.
another fantastic top 3. Let's get on to our viewer questions.
Do you have questions concerning planning a Disney trip? Ask them live on the show or submit them on our website at patmdisneytravel.wixsite.com/planning.
Yeah. I have no clue where you went. So you are not here right now. Yeah. So we're gonna go to we're gonna go over to remote talk. Remote talk, where are you at? There you are. Okay, so you're here. This is not the necessary screen for this segment, but I don't know where the screen is. We are gonna go to a very interesting one. I wanted to bring this one up because we both have children and we both do a lot of media work within the parks. So this kind of encapsulates kind of both of those things at the same time. So basically, this guest asks on Reddit, it's a vent, and they rode Rock and Roller Coaster in the morning, and the girl behind them was singing a song that was unrelated to the song that was playing in Rock and Roller Coaster. And it ruined their experience, basically. What options do guests have in the case that somebody ruins their experience on a ride? Correct.
Ride or whatever else, or they're just responsible for making sure that you get off the moving platform or whatever. But if you go up into the gift shop or back to the ride entrance and say, "Hi, I'd like to talk to the ride supervisor," that would be the best thing that you can do. You should go up to the cast member at the front of the ride and say, "Hi, I'd like to speak to the supervisor that's in charge of the ride right now." Talking to the cast member, you can do that, but again, they have a job to do right now. Like, they're supposed to be doing a job right now.
Yeah.
So if you bother them with a potentially lengthy conversation, you're really being inconsiderate of the fact that they have things that need to be taken care of. There is normally a ride supervisor, either responsible for just that ride or responsible for that very small area, and that person can be to you within 5 minutes for sure. and they can quickly get a hold of that person and get them coming your way. That's the person you want to talk to. And I would just explain it. I would just be very upfront and honest. Say, listen, there was a person behind us and they were like screaming Taylor Swift, and we're like trying to enjoy this Aerosmith ride. Is there anything that you can do? Chances are what they're going to do for you is, if you want to re-enjoy that experience, chances are they're either going to take you through some type of like a back hallway, or just grant you admission into the lightning lane.
Yeah.
Just if you want to re-ride that experience. If you're really, really inconvenienced, then, you know, perhaps what they used to do is they used to hand out like redemptions, and perhaps they would do that. I haven't seen any of those redemptions come back out yet. But if they ruined your experience, and your whole point is my experience was ruined, then wouldn't you want the same experience, just the right way? So chances are that they're going to let you through the lightning lane, so that, or take you straight up to the load platform and let you ride again.
And I will say the redemptions they've been back for a while, because we actually got one in March for the non-adjoining room situation.
Right, and they're handing out redemptions. I don't know if a cast member, I don't know if a supervisor would give you a redemption for that.
Yeah. So you can use those for usually like a fast pass for a lightning lane, or you can use them for a small snack or something like that. Depending on what they give you, there's different kind of levels for those.
And I don't feel like this would warrant them going into the pocket for that, because really your issue is my current experience was ruined. I would think we would want to fix it by having a good experience on it.
Yeah, and you know, you've only got about 1:30 with us, so you know, I brought up us doing a lot of media and the consideration that some vloggers have and some vloggers don't within the parks. You know, we're always trying to get back seats of boats and that kind of stuff, to where we're not ruining anybody's experience. We're not using external lights and that kind of stuff, but not everybody's that considerate of others.
No, in the middle of the not so scary fireworks, the lady standing in front of us was trying to get her party to her. So she took this light, mounted it on a fixture, and held it straight up in front of my daughter, and just shined it around for like 30 seconds until her party could find her and come over.
Yeah.
And my wife is recording because we wanted it for the show. So my wife is recording, but she has her camera down so that she's just like holding it here, looking up at it.
Yeah.
And so this light pops up several times in the middle of, we're trying to record content for this show, because I figured we would want the not so scary fireworks show for future content.
Yeah.
And I was very, very frustrated. But I'm going to get booted off here any moment.
Yep. Where can people find you?
Facebook is the easiest way. Search Princess and the Mouse Disney Travel, and I'll just search Disney Travel Agent. I'll be towards the top.
There you go. Peter with Princesses and the Mouse, everyone. Have a good night, man. And there it was. We just got in under the wire there. So, with that being said, let's go ahead and we'll get to the outro. Peter with Princesses of the Mouse joined us. We talked some news. We did a top 3 on the longest lines at Disney, and our client question concerning annoying kids. We're all over social media, but the easiest places to find us are on Facebook at DPI Podcast, over on Twitter at Disney Insights, and on YouTube, the Disney Planning Insights Podcast. Thank you to our new subscribers over on YouTube, Omar Garcia and Anita Alamont. Thank you much for subscribing, and hopefully... Thank you, everybody, for watching the show, listening to the show, everything that you do. You guys have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week. Bye now.